Hello viewers, Wagadana taking you through the story of O-level mathematics. And this video, we are going to go through the expected response for Senior 3 Math Mod 2 for the year 2024. So this video is suitable for students right from Senior 1 up to Senior 4. So these are the papers we have to upload. What is ticked means is already available on the platform. What is not yet ticked means will be uploaded with time. So this paper contained two sections. Section A had 2 items which were comparatively, and section B had also 2 items, and the student was supposed to attempt any one to make the 4 items. So, but for us, because this is the revision, we shall go through all the 4 items. So item 1 says, a certain member of your family. What I want you to remember about new calcium question items is that they are wordy. So you need to be keen, read the words and get meaning out of them before you start to attempt. So a member of your family rewrote each of her 4-digit ATM card pin from number system 10 or base 10 to another number base less than 4. Know this word, less than base 4. Okay, she did this in fear of theft of her bank savings. Now she is sick in a certain hospital. She can neither talk nor write, but money on her account is needed to finance the hospital bills. Okay, here is how she rewrote the pin: 12212211. Now in bases we don't say 12, no, we say 12 because 12 is for base 10. So this is 122122 and 11. Okay, you have been able to encrypt the ATM card pin for the family, and funds are now available to take care of her medical needs. So the hospital has 2 doctors, A and B, who check on her after a specified period of time. Dr. A checks on her after every, know that word, after every 1 hour and 30 minutes, while Dr. B checks on her after every 2.5 hours. Both doctors last checked on her at 8:30 a.m. at the same time. So yeah, we need to see the word same. Actually, yeah, it is here the word both. Okay. She was treated well and discharged, and advised her to spend 3/8 of the day resting, 1/6 of the day doing physical exercises, 2/3 of the remainder having a healthy diet, and the rest of the time of the day visiting the hospital for further checkup. Okay, now tasks. Task A, Roman 1. Which number system do you think she used to rewrite the pin? Give a reason for your response. Roman 2. Use the identified number system to help your family member regenerate the original pin. Okay. Part B. At what time will both doctors check on her again at the same time? Part C. How many hours of the day does she have to spend on visiting the hospital. So let's start with task A. So actually the base should be base 3. Do you know why? It is because they say the bases are below base 4. Below base 4 we have base 2 and base 3. But in the digits we saw there was a 2. Yet a 2 cannot appear in base 2. Therefore the only base which is there is base 3. And that's what they wanted. The Roman 2 was about regenerating the pin. So that means that we need to convert from base 3 to base 10. So the first digit was 1, 2, base 3. Convert to base 10 to give you 5 base 10. Second digit was 2, 1, base 3. Convert to base 10 to give you 7 base 10. Third digit was 2, 2, base 3. Convert to base 10 to give you 8 base 10. And the fourth digit was 1, 1, base 3. Convert to base 10 to give you 4 base 10. So now the pin can be rewrote as that. So note that there are no commas, so don't put commas. And that's what they wanted in task A. Then for task B they said, at what time will both doctors check on her again at the same time? So we need to go back in our scenario. Here we said this one, the first doctor A checks on her after every one and a half hours, and this one after every 2.5 hours. And the last checked on her at 8:30. So there is something like LCM. So shall come here and convert those hours to minutes. Hours to minutes. So for Dr. A, 1 hour 30 minutes to give you 90 minutes. Dr. B, 2.5 hours to give you 150 minutes. Then we need to get the LCM of 90 and 50. 90 and 150. So divide by 2, you get here 45, 75. Divide by 3, here 15, 25. Divide by 3, here 5, here it remains because 25 is not divisible by 3. Divide by 5, here 1, here 5. Divide by 5, here it remains 1, here 1. Then we can now get the LCM by applying all these values, as you see here, to get 450 minutes. 450 minutes converting to hours is 7.5 hours, which is 7 hours 30 minutes. But the last checked on her again at 8:30 a.m. So what we do, we shall add on the 8:30, we shall add on 7 hours 30 minutes to give you. So now this is called 24-hour clock to give you 1600 hours. 1600 hours is the same as 4 p.m. in 12-hour clock, and that's what they wanted. Okay, so that was task B. Now shall look for task C. Task C, let me see. It says, how many hours of the day does she have to spend on visiting the hospital? So we need to go back to the scenario. They said she was treated and discharged and advised to spend 3/8 of the day resting. 1/6 of the day doing physical exercise. 2/3 of the remainder, note this word, of the remainder, having a healthy diet, and the rest of the day visiting the hospital. Okay, so let's start. So fraction for resting is 3/8 and for physical exercise is 1/6. And remaining fraction will now be 1 minus these two, to give you 11/24. So fraction for healthy diet is 2/3 of the remainder. 2/3 of the remainder, to give you this. Fraction for visiting hospital will be the remaining time. So 1 to mean total fraction minus all these ones, minus this, and that, to give you this, which is that. But a total one day has 24 hours, so we can come and say that hours for visiting the hospital per day will be 11/72 times 24, which gives you this, which is 2 hours, 3 whole numbers and a third, which is 3 hours and 40 minutes. And that's what they wanted. That was item 1. Let's go to item 2. Item 2 says, you are organizing our get-together party at a certain 5-star hotel in Kampala, and you intend to serve your guests 5 different drinks: sodas, water, fresh juice, bushera, and flavored milk. You have invited 24 guests. However, you do not know the choice of their favorite drinks. On arrival, you requested your guests to make orders of their favorite drinks on the waiter's record list. Below is the list of their orders, as shown below. Like they told us, J means fresh juice, B means bushera, M means flavored milk, and W means water, S means soda. Okay. According to the hotel's price list, the above drinks are sold as indicated in the table below. You have requested the waiter to serve your guests according to their preferences. Okay, task A. Organize your guests' orders in a suitable table. Part B, or task B, identify your guests' most favorite drink and give a reason for your response. Task C, find the percentage of your guests that ordered for fresh juice, giving your response to 3 significant figures. Task D, represent your guests' orders on a suitable statistical diagram. Task E, how much will you spend on the orders made by your guests? Okay, so organize your guests' orders on a suitable table. That is a tally chart. Okay, so these buttons are not part of the solution. They are only there to help me ease the work. So for us, what we are interested in is this table here. So this and this is not part of the solution. So the table will contain the drinks, tally, and the number of guests. So for drinks, we have S, W, J, B, M. Then tallies, we shall begin with S. Look for all S. All S we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we shall put a tally of 4. The next is W, which is water. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So put a tally of 7. The next is fresh juice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So put a tally of 6. Next is bushera, which is 1, 2. So put a tally of 2. And lastly, flavored milk, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So put a tally of 5. So basically, that's what they meant by a suitable table. Okay, so that was task A. Then task B says, identify your guest's most favorite drink and give a reason for your response. So most favorite drink, you will come on this tile and look for the highest. It is 7. So therefore the most favorite drink is water because it has the highest frequency. Okay, then task C, find the percentage of your guests that ordered for fresh juice, giving your response to 3 significant figures. Percentage that ordered for fresh juice. So come here and say fresh juice, which is J, is 6. 6 over the total, which is 24 times 100, will give you the percentage. But they said 3 significant figures, so it is that. So that is part C. What about part D? Part D is represent your guest orders on a suitable statistical diagram. Okay, so now which diagram is suitable? Remember, we have in data collection of senior 1 term 2, you covered bar graphs, pie chart, line graph. But also in term 1, you covered what we call scatter diagram. So which is suitable? 1, you should know what we call qualitative data and quantitative data. So this is now qualitative because I think you see here, let's first go back here. Do you see this? These ones have no numerical values, they are only categories, so it is more about qualitative data. And graphs for qualitative data are 2. We have a pie chart, okay, the diagrams or statistical diagrams. Statistical diagrams for qualitative data, there are 2. We have pie chart and bar graphs. Then statistical diagrams for quantitative are also, actually those are many. There are 3, I think. They have what we call a scatter graph. Okay, we have what we call a line graph. We have what we call a histogram. Yeah, basically that is it. Basically those are the ones, because OGIVE now goes to frequency. So here there are only 2 options. You either use a statistical diagram of a pie chart or a bar graph. If you use a line graph, then it will never be okay, because line graph is basically for quantitative. So now here we shall, since this is revision, we are going to show both options. Let's begin with a bar graph. For a bar graph, like I told you in the senior 2, because the previous video was for senior 2 mod 2, and there was also a bar graph. So we shall need a graph paper, then we draw the axis. Then we can now get the scale. For the horizontal, we look at the number of spaces occupied by each item. So here we have 5 items, so 18 divided by 5 will give you 3.6, meaning that each item will occupy 3 big squares. Now how did we base on to get 3? Now here it is somewhat different. Here, when you get this decimal, what you do, you ignore the decimal and you take only the whole number part. Let me repeat. If you see a decimal here, what you do, ignore the decimal and take the whole number part. Because if you make a mistake of rounding off, then it will never fit on the graph. So simply ignore the decimal. Even if it is 3.9, ignore the decimal and take the whole number part. That is for horizontal. So we shall come and put intervals of 3, 3. Then vertical, then you can label it. For vertical, we use intervals of 2 centimeters, then we get the scale. The scale is got by saying highest value over 10. Highest value is 7. If you look at this diagram, let's go back. If you look at this, highest value is 7. So highest value over 10 gives you the scale. So this is 0.7. Now here we don't treat it as horizontal as the way we treated horizontal. Here we use multiples, and we use multiples of 1, 2, 5, 10. And here, because it's in 0 point, we shall put there 0.5 maybe. So 0.5 is between this, so we shall use a scale of 1. Therefore 2 centimeters represent 1 student. Then we can come and put the scale, and we put a title for the bar graph. Then we can now start putting the heights of the bars. Heights here we have 4, 7, 6, 2, 5. Okay. Now the rule for a bar graph is that all the bars must have the same width. Then 2, all the spaces between the bars must be the same. So what do we do to draw the bars? Look at this space allocated for each item. The bar must be at the center. So we are going to, since these are already 3, demarcated into 3, we shall take the middle one to get the bar. So I'll come and put 4 there for the first one. The next one was 7. Next one was 6. Next one was 2. And the last one was 5. So shading is optional, but it is good. For a bar graph, it is good to shade, though it is optional. So that's how the scores would be awarded. We also said a pie chart is okay. So let's get an alternative for a pie chart. For a pie chart, we use angles. So I'll come and get angle for the soda, get the fraction times 360 to get that sector. Actually, this is called sector angle. Sector angle for water is that. Sector angle for juice is that. Sector angle for bushera is that. And sector angle for milk is that. So now that we have got all the sector angles, we can now draw a pie chart. We shall begin by putting the title for the pie chart and then draw a horizontal line. Now your answer sheets have a ruled, so this line must lie on that ruled line. Then you put a starting point here where the center of the circle will be. Then you can draw this circle. After that, we are going to begin measuring. Use a protractor. Here we use protractors. Measure off 60 from the horizontal going anti-clockwise. 6 is that, and label it for soda. Next is, now from here, you measure off 105 for water, then 90 for juice, then 30 for bushera, and the remaining one is for milk. And that is it. So basically that is the pie chart they wanted. So you can either draw a bar graph or a pie chart. Now task E. Let me see task E. Task E. What is it about? Task E says, how much will you spend on the orders made by your guests? So these are the prices for each quantity, for each drink. So shall use it and also use the other chart table we drew, the tally chart. These ones. To come up with the total cost. So amount spent on soda will be 4 times this to give you that. Amount spent on water, 7 times that to give you this. Amount spent on juice. Amount spent on bushera. Amount spent on milk. Then they wanted the total. So you add all and get the total. And that's what they wanted. Giving us a total score of 20. So that was section A. Now we shall go to section B. Section B had 2 items and you're supposed to choose only one. So item 1 says, in the recent research carried out by a group of medical students, it has been established that citizens in a certain community find hardships in accessing medical care services due to limited health centers. A senior citizen of the community has donated a plot of land and invited a team of investors to help in the project of constructing another health center. The investor intends to construct a health center building in form of a regular hexagon ABCDEF of sides 18 feet each. The corners are labeled such that side AB is horizontal when seen from above. The building will further be partitioned into triangular rooms with a common corner A. A local construction company was hired to do the job. As per the quotation of the construction company, the space occupied by each triangular room formed from the hexagonal design will cost shillings this, will cost shillings that. In order to complete the given task, the construction company has to purchase an additional excavator. An importer of excavators costs each excavator at shillings 375 million on cash. However, a discount of 1.2% is offered to a customer who buys an excavator on the first Monday of every month. The construction company intends to buy the excavator on Monday, 1st July 2024. The hint is that take 1 feet to be equal to 1/3 of a meter and use a scale of 1 centimeter to represent 1 meter. Then task A, help the construction company to come up with the accurate building plan for the health center building, clearly showing all the triangular partitions that can be formed. Then part B, determine the amount of money the investor has to prepare for the project. And part C, how much did the construction company spend on purchasing the excavator under the given terms and conditions? So we are told that 1 feet is equal to a third of a meter. Therefore, 18 feet will be equal to a third times 18 to give you 6 meters. But 6 meters cannot fit on the answer sheet, so we shall need to use a scale, and therefore 6 meters is equivalent to 6 over 1 to give you 6 centimeters. Remember we said from small to big you multiply, big to small you divide. It somehow contradicts with the rule for the actual conversions, but this is a scale, remember. So to draw a regular hexagon, you shall first draw a horizontal line and put a mark any point, then put the compass there and draw a circle of radius 6 centimeters. Then maintaining the same radius, put the needle here and make that arc, put the needle there, make this arc, put the needle there, make that arc, put the needle there, make that arc, put the needle there, make that arc. Then you can now join to get your hexagon, as simple as that. Then it told us AB should be horizontal, so when you're labeling, we make sure that AB is horizontal. Okay, then they said partitioning the hexagon into triangles with A being a common corner. So we shall draw a line from here to there to get one triangle, second, third, and fourth. So those are the triangles you could partition. So the scores for this slide. That was task A. Then task B says, determine the amount of money the investor has to prepare for the project. Remember, each triangular design is this, 335 million. So shall come and say that cost for each triangle was that, therefore the cost of the 4 triangles was 4 times that to give you 550 million. So that's what the investor should prepare. Then for task C, it says, task C says, how much did the construction company spend on purchasing the excavator under the given terms? Now purchasing, remember they told us they are purchasing it on 1st July, which is first Monday of the month. Therefore, they will get a discount of 1.2 of the total, which is 375 million. So I'll come here and say a discount. I'll get the new percentage, which is 98.8. Then I can now get the amount paid, which is that. And that's how we could get a score of 20. Then item 4 says, a certain tourist is planning to visit the following places in East Africa. The tourist has highlighted the following places on the map of East Africa using coordinate points. These places include Kampala, Burundi, Uganda, Nairobi, Bujumbura, and Kenya. The coordinate points below are in the order of his preference of the trip to East Africa. So starting from Kampala with those coordinates, go to Burundi, then Uganda, then Nairobi, Bujumbura, Kenya. Then the purpose of the coordinates was to guide the tourist as he travels from Kampala to Burundi to Uganda to Nairobi to Bujumbura to Kenya and back to Kampala. There is a direct route between Burundi and Kenya. Okay. Task A. Help the tourists to Roman 1 represent the coordinate points on a Cartesian plane and join the points using straight lines in order of his preference of the trip. Find the general equation of the direct route between Burundi and Kenya. So let's start with that task. 1, we shall need a grid paper or a graph paper. Then we shall put axes. We have both positive and negative, therefore we need to cater for them. Then demarcate for the horizontal. And put a scale. Do the same for the vertical axis. And put a scale. Okay, so now we shall start to plot. First was Kampala with coordinates that -5, 8, followed by Burundi with coordinates 4, 10, followed by Uganda with coordinates 10, -2, followed by Nairobi with coordinates 6, -8, followed by Bujumbura with coordinates -4, -6, then Kenya with coordinates -10, -3. So joining preference from Kampala to Burundi, from Burundi to Uganda, Uganda to Nairobi, Nairobi to Bujumbura, Bujumbura to Kenya, and then we close back to Kampala. But they said there is a direct route between Kenya and Burundi, so let's represent it with a dotted line. 2, they also want the coordinates of that, the equation of that route. So before we do that, let's see marks for the slide. Then for these ones, it means we are going to get an equation of a straight line using these 2 coordinates for Kenya and Burundi. So using those 2, we shall equate the gradients. So we choose a variable point x, y, and use this with this to give you this gradient, then this with this to give you this gradient. Then you equate the 2. Cross simplify. Numerator gives -13, here gives -14. Then cross multiply. This with that, this with this. So the negatives cancel. Open brackets and rearrange. And that is what they wanted. That was task A. Now shall go to task B. Task B says, Roman 1, identify the members of the domain, set, and range of the tourists highlighted, and range the tourist highlighted places on the map of East Africa. 2. What is the relationship between the domain and the range? 3. Illustrate the relationship in an arrow diagram and describe the type of mapping. So you must have realized that 1 is among the places, some are countries and others are capital cities. So we shall distinguish them with that, domain with that, countries, then capital cities as the range. Then we shall see the relationship is that is a capital city of. So this capital city of this, like that. So that means that this capital city of this capital city of this, and this capital city of this. So in the arrow diagram, we shall rearrange them to be in line. So for Bujumbura, capital city of Burundi, so meaning we begin with Burundi. Kampala is for Uganda, so followed by Uganda. Nairobi is for Kenya, so we go to Kenya. Then you can put the arrows. So I think you realize that the arrows enter this box. Some of you are fun. Do you know what you do? You make the arrow just touch here and here. That is not okay. It must go to the exact item. So it must penetrate through this boundary here. So the type of mapping is a one-to-one mapping. So that's how we could get a zero score of 20. So that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and be reminded the next video will be on S4 Math Pre-Mock for the year 2024. So if you have not yet subscribed, please click on the subscribe button below this video so that you can receive updates when the next video has been uploaded. And also, if you know of any student who's not yet on this platform, please share the link of this video with them via social media platforms like Facebook and WhatsApp so that they can all benefit.